Welcome back. Today we're going to put some LEDs on this thing with a little bit of a twist, so come along. So, first things first, where we're going to install. I bought Type S. These are the Hyper Bright. They're supposed to be brighter than the other ones. These ones, batteries inside dead. Anyway, I'm going to do the normal under the dash deal. Light your feet up. And then the twist, I'm going to put a big long one underneath this door and that door. And I'm going to hook it up to that dome light-ish. Therefore, when I open the door, it's going to be like BMWs and stuff like that. So you open the door up, lights the ground up. But when I close it, I want it to shut off because it's probably not going to do a whole lot of good other than have a glowing under door seam. It would look bad. So we're going to get these put where they're supposed to go, and then I'll also show you wiring, how to make this work with that. I'm also going to hook the under the dash ones up to the lights. That way when I turn my lights on at night, they turn on. I don't need them running during the day. And also that way you don't kill your battery. You don't have a physical switch to turn off and on. You know, obviously if your lights are on, they make noise. That'll remind you to shut them off. There's not going to be any switches or nothing. So, first things first, we need to start with some rubbing alcohol. You're supposed to mix this like 75-50 or 50-50 to clean. That way the adhesive on the back of those will stick. I'm just going to use straight alcohol. I don't want to mix it. I don't care. I've always just used straight alcohol. It's been fine. That's what I'm going to do. Just telling you how they tell you to do it. You do you. So, I need a rag. So, we're getting down to some wiring. I need to do a few things first. I'll show you. So, there is a bundle of wires here that go into the door here. I have cut those off because they're not going to go to anything I'm ever going to use. Probably window motors, electric locks. I don't know. I'm keeping it all manual, so I cut those off a long time ago. Anyway, this is what activates your dome light up there. I have pulled it out. It is a white with a red stripe. So go over here. We've got, it's hard to see. I ain't got a light. I got two of them. One's thin, one's thick. I'm betting it's that thin one. But I need to figure out which one's which. So I got a multimeter. I'm thinking it's this small one here. So I'm going to stick maybe not. The wire's awful small. Maybe it's a big one. Hope I don't stab myself. Sorry if I'm in the way of the camera here. Anywho, one of these beeps. See? Ground them out the beep. So I'll run one to the door over here and touch this. Yep. Tells us that's the wire. So we need to tie into the big boy there. And then I just need to figure out which color over here I want to use for positive. Your door, this little door, that little door thing, that's a ground. So when this is open, it is not grounded. When it's closed, it grounds through the screw right here. So that is a ground. We need to turn one of these into a power if one of them's not already a power. So I'm going to probe those, see if one of them's a power. And if one of them's a power, we'll just use it for power. We'll cut one of the other ones and attach it to that, like splice in line with the white and red, and that'll be our ground. And then I shouldn't have to try to run this wire through that nonsense. Well, that escalated quickly. Yeah. I couldn't get to the wiring. Whoa. Couldn't get to the wiring to that side, so it's our glove box. Oh, blower motor. All that had to come out just to get to the wiring in the door. Now that we got all that, I'm basically at the point of putting it back together. So I'm gonna get it put back together, and then we'll show you what happened. Basically, like I said, I grabbed. You can't even see up in there. I grabbed 2 random wires from there. Apparently, the wires that are on this side are a different color than the ones that are on that side. I don't know why. So I made sure which one was which. You know, cut them from the harness. I'm just using them to pass through the door instead of trying to pass a wire. And then ran. What did I do? I'm forgetting. Oh yeah. Like I said, for the doors, I want them to turn on and off with the dome light, which use this switch. This one's broken. I need to replace. They run off of ground. So then I ran the power, which I have hooked up yet, to, what can you see? These things to replace your fuse so you can run a line off, running it from that cord, you know, put those two together, then it works. Then the ones under the dash, it's almost impossible to run it to the lights. So they are just ran to a non-constant. They'll turn on when the car turns on. Well, that took forever. Considering we had to take half the dash out, blow our motor, just get to 2 wires. But finally got it all back together. Now we can take a look, see what it looks like. Hope you liked the video. I got some more work to do. The idle air control valve pigtail is catching on fire when you jiggle it, so I have a little bit more work to do. But if you would, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.